to my live Friday wine segment. We did it, another week. I'm very honored today to welcome my very dear friend and extraordinary wine writer. Please welcome Wanda Mann. Wanda, I will ask you to join now. Let's see if we could do this right this time. Yay!
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to my home.
I know, it's lovely. I'll have to see it in person one day.
Yes, you should. We've been trying, but it's
I
been
know.
Thank you for joining in today. I'm super excited to be talking to you because you and I talk all the time, but I would like for our viewers to get to know you because you're an extraordinary person to know in this wine world, or not necessarily in the wine world, but in general, you're a very great person to know. I'm really loving your writing and you're very passionate about this. So please tell us what inspired you to start writing Black Dress Traveler, and when did you start?
Sure, I started Black Dress Traveler about over 10 years ago now. I think it's 11 years. 11 years. But I've always been a writer. It's always been a passion of mine. And once I kind of had that moment where I stumbled onto wine, and there were just so many stories from the winemakers to the regions to the science, I was hooked. I just wanted to write about wine. Before I was writing about lifestyle, beauty, fashion, and I still love all of those things. But I just found that writing about wine was just an endless education and very enriching and satisfying. Right. Yeah.
And you do that beautifully.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So what inspired you this passion? What inspired you to start your blog, The Black Dress Traveler? Is there something in your life that happened that just triggered that? Or this just something you started on the side and then now it became truly a full-time situation?
I feel like there were a lot of little moments in my life that built up to it. And I think that's true for many of us. And whatever it is that we find ourselves doing, if we look back, we don't notice all of those little tiles that are kind of putting the puzzle together. So my dad was a chef, classically trained. And he brought me my first bottle of wine when I was 16.
Nice.
Which is very rare in America. And then when I was 16, I went to live in Barcelona for a year with the host family there. And that was the first time I really experienced wine as part of just a meal. There was no stigma, taboo about me having a glass of wine with my host family. And then to fast forward a bit, in my professional career, I was an events planner. And at one of my jobs, I was actually responsible for producing all of the wine tastings.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, I was worried about, do we have the tasting mats? Do we have decanters? Is everything ready? And from that, someone invited me to come to a wine tasting as a guest. So that was my first chance to sit across the table from a winemaker. And just once I heard his story and he guided me through tasting the wines, I was like, oh my God, I've been missing out. I was so busy behind the scenes. And from that moment, I was hooked.
You're certainly catching up now.
Yes.
So do you remember who that producer was?
I do. Danielle P. from Trapiche in Argentina, which actually today is Malbec Day, World Malbec Day.
Right.
So yes, Danielle P. and Trapiche hold a special place in my heart because they were really the catalyst for this wine journey that I'm still on, still learning.
Right. I know. What's so great about this industry is that you just never stop learning. You never stop meeting incredible people. You never stop learning. You're inspired every day. I mean, at least right now we're trying.
Trying, yeah.
But it's just a never-ending, meeting and being inspired. And this is what I love about this. And this is why I loved right away when I first met you. You're very humbled. You're very inspiring. Your stories are amazing. You really love your Italian wines as well.
I know. I guess I have developed a soft spot. Italy has been such an important part of my wine education. I didn't take my first trip to Italy until 2015, believe it or not. And I'm no teenager. So, I've been to other places in Europe, had never been to Italy, took my first trip there. And I've been to Italy at least 15 times since.
Mhm.
And, from the north to the south, it's just, they're so open and so gracious, and there's no attitude, it's very humbling and exhilarating, and they want you to enjoy it and they want to teach you. And it's just given me a foundation for exploring wines from other regions as well. So I'm very, very grateful to Italy.
Yes, once you start in Italy, it's hard to go back.
It's true. It's true.
So, so today,
Yes.
you have the honor to being the one recommending wine. So tell me what you picked and why.
Well, this was tricky because I was like, I could do the obvious thing, go with the Malbec because it's Malbec Day. She probably thinks I'm going to pick an Italian wine because everyone thinks I'm going to pick an Italian wine. Or she probably thinks I'm going to pick a sparkling wine. I picked none of those. So I picked Abacela Fiesta Tempranillo 2017. It's a Tempranillo from the Umpqua Valley in Oregon. Had no idea that they were growing Tempranillo in Oregon. As you know, Tempranillo is the foundation grape of Rioja and Ribera del Duero. So very intriguing wine. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary, this winery. It's a family-owned company, Earl and Hilda Jones. They were passionate about Rioja and Ribera, and they wanted to say, we have to be able to grow Tempranillo in Oregon. And let me tell you, they nailed it. It is a beautiful wine. Beautiful. I think even my friends in Spain would be very impressed. It's a gorgeous Tempranillo.
That would actually be an interesting thing to taste this Tempranillo side by side with maybe, a Rioja from the same vintage, and see, really blind taste it and see what, would you really guess?
Exactly. It definitely feels, I'll be honest, in a blind tasting, it feels very authentic, like a Spanish wine to me. It has great minerality. You can tell they really took care where they planted the vineyards. The fruit is vibrant and crisp and fresh. It's juicy. I mean, it's about $25. It's a good price. But this is a food wine. Will pair well with your jamon, your gambas, any tapas, paella. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
So what are you cooking for lunch then?
Well, you know what? I actually opened it last night in preparation for our talk, and I made a beautiful steak, and it was I'm a meat and potatoes kind of girl, So it was great with my steak last night.
Cool. Oregon, it's kind of unusual to hear Tempranillo in Oregon. There's like a very small pocket. There's a very small pocket.
It's true. Yeah, and when we talk about Oregon, so often we're focused on Willamette and their extraordinary Pinot Noir, which I love. But I have to say, I believe this is my first time having something from Umpqua, I hope I'm saying that correctly, in the southern part of Oregon, which I'm guessing must be warmer because this winery is also growing Grenache and Syrah. So clearly they have a climate that can sustain kind of those southern Rhone grapes as well, which needs some sun. So yeah, I love, to me, this wine hit the sweet spot because I love Spain so much, and I would have been traveling to Spain last month, but clearly none of us are traveling right now. And I love that thought of supporting domestic wineries as well. So I've been using this time at home not only to travel abroad to Italy and Spain and Argentina, but really explore American wines, which I feel sometimes I neglect, quite honestly.
I think, honestly, I'm guilty of that too. Yeah. It's not that I don't think of drinking American wines, it's that sometimes they're, here comes my girl.
Is that our assistant taster for the day?
That's the beauty of live.
It's live. I know UPS might actually be showing up. I ordered new wine glasses and they're coming today.
Oh boy. I forgot what I was saying. I was like, I'm guilty too of not thinking about purchasing American wines because you know what? I think it's a price issue.
It does become a price issue. And I think the reality is those of us in the trade, so much of our wine tasting is based on the events that are happening. So being in New York, those events tend to be focused on wines from abroad.
Right. Yeah.
So often it's just finding the time. But yeah, I'm really intrigued. I mean, I've been drinking wines from Long Island. I love wines from the Finger Lakes. I have some wines from Virginia that I haven't really tapped into yet, so I'm going to give those a try.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're definitely not giving up my, Brunello and Barolo and Chianti Classico, but
Don't give up yet.
never. There's room for, that's the beauty of wine. There's room for all of us. There's room for all the wines. So
yeah. What was I going to say? So yes, I mean, I do encourage everyone to try to, help domestic wineries because everyone here also needs business and love. A lot of people have lost their jobs lately. So
tasting rooms are closed. In some states, wine stops were not considered essential. So yes, our American winemakers need some love right now too.
Yes. So if they can ship direct, that would be the best.
Yes.
So that's a good way for us to support them. Wine clubs check out the wine clubs on all of those domestic wineries in California, Oregon, even Finger Lakes.
Absolutely.
The wines have become a lot better than they used to be.
Really beautiful. Yeah. I want to go back to the Finger Lakes. I visited only for the first time. I think it was about 2 years ago. And it's been on my wish list to really go back and explore more.
I visited about 12 years ago. And it was still it was like hit or miss.
Okay.
Now it's definitely on my list of places to go back to because a lot of sommeliers are actually have now participating in joint ventures and now creating and producing their own wines in Finger Lakes.
Oh, okay.
For instance, Thomas Pasterzak, the wine director of the Nomad Hotel, is producing wine in the Finger Lakes. He's producing a Cabernet Franc and Riesling, which is it's really good.
Okay.
Pascaline, I believe, is also producing a Riesling.
Yes, I think I heard that. Yes.
And the Finger Lakes. So I mean, there is, it has evolved. It
Absolutely.
has evolved. There is a lot of, there's a lot of room for progress, and they have progress. You see those wines on restaurants' wine lists now. So
absolutely.
So anything we could do to help.
Yeah, and it's not far. Once we're able to move around again, for those of us in the New York metropolitan area, it's a nice weekend getaway.
Yeah, I mean, we're not getting on a plane anytime soon, so that would be a good way to get out.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
So what else is going on with you? What are your plans for the weekend?
I'll be honest.
Where are you going this weekend?
Yeah,
you going to the
first of all, the fact that it's the weekend, because I never know what day it is anymore.
You're right. I have to ask Alexa every morning.
It's true. I look at the phone and go, oh, that's what today is. I'll be honest, one of the great things about technology is, even though I live alone and I'm, social distancing and haven't been able to spend time with my family and friends and loved ones, I've been able to do happy hours like this on WhatsApp or Zoom. So I have some of these planned for the weekend, binge watching television, like a lot of people are, and tasting wines. I'm drinking a little less, actually, because wine, I think, in moderation is always a good thing for you, but trying to keep the immune system up. But so I'm enjoying, when we're in the tasting season, it can be a whirl, and we're drinking wine all day, every day sometimes. But now that that's slowed down, I'm drinking maybe a bit more thoughtfully at home, and selecting the bottles with care and really savoring that glass of wine. So there are some positives, to this pause, this slowdown. So it's going to be a quiet weekend.
Yeah, I know. No parties, nothing.
No parties. No. So what are you going to be drinking this weekend?
I don't know. You know what? The weather's getting nicer, even though it's still cold. But I'm getting in the mood for Aperol Spritz or something.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
That brings me to summertime and fun, even though I don't know how fun the summer is going to be. But
none of us know.
Refreshing.
Yeah, but the great thing about wine, is such a vibrant community. And I think one of the beautiful things that this crisis has shown is, whether you're across the river in New York and New Jersey, or across an ocean, New York and Italy, that we're all staying connected.
Right.
And trying to support each other. And it's not just supporting the business, but supporting the people. And I think it's a business with a lot of heart and a lot of humanity. And I think this crisis is really showing that. And I hope that continues.
Right. We have to support each other, especially for your mind, because we're indoors all day, every day. Mm-hmm. Today for me it's been day 36. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep it together.
It is, and I think that's why it's important. You have to have some sense of routine. Try to keep something in your life that feels, gives you a sense of normalcy. Right. And for me, wine has definitely been a part of that.
Right.
Not letting completely. Now, yes, it's changed how I'm working. I definitely have had more writer's blocks now than I have had in years. And someone else wrote recently, it's not that we're working from home. We're trying to work from home during a crisis. Right. So I think we have to be kind to ourselves and give ourselves room to process that. And maybe some people cope by being super productive. I'm kind of in the middle. I definitely need time to sit and meditate and process. And I find talking for me and doing these types of things is a little more comforting right now. Doesn't feel as stressful as really hard, heavy hitting writing. So
yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, I have some articles I've been trying to write, and it's hard. It's not that my heart is not in it. It's just that my mind is not in it.
It's hard. Yeah. Yeah. We are all legitimately distracted right now. And how could we not be? How could you not be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But on that note, I wish I could share a glass of Tempranillo.
I know. I mean, it's not quite noon, and I have a business call at 1. But if you don't tell,
you'll be very productive. You'll be very productive during your business call.
Yeah. So
well, thank you so much, Wanda, for joining. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Stay well. And we'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Ciao.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. So thank you all for tuning in. This was my little chat with Wanda Mann, who's an extraordinary wine writer. Check out her blog at theblackdresstraveler.com. Thank you so much, everyone. And remember to sip responsibly. Thanks. Bye.